Right, hello and welcome to a Stampscapes, kind of unboxing, show and tell-ish type of thing. I just ordered some new idea cards. They're old new ones, okay? I've been past giving out the current set for quite some time now because, I don't know, Vistaprint has it where you really have to order quite a few to get the price per postcard down quite a bit. So I don't order quite as many anymore, but I order larger quantities of them. Okay, and you have to order them on sale. Otherwise, they cost a fortune these days. And not to go too much in depth about the ordering process, but I don't know. They always have these sales on, but it's like one day only. Expires at midnight tonight, which is always kind of irritating. So that's why I have gone in and have ordered some existing postcards because I didn't have time to make up some new ones of some of the scenes that I've done in recent days. All right, so let's look at this first one right here. Seaside Cove Small and some palm trees right here. It's kind of interesting. I went to the Mesa, Arizona convention this past weekend, and someone wanted these palm trees right here. So if you're watching the video, here's another example of those palm trees in use. This is a scene from video number 518. Social distancing, I call it. It was looks like it was the beginning of the lockdowns and whatnot. So everything was going a little bit nuts. But maybe this is the video that you watched that give you the idea to get these palm tree, palm stalks, and palm fronds here. So I was telling her to how to use the left and the right side curling fronds in conjunction with the stalks right here. I really like my sky up here. That's using the alto cumulus cloud. Me. Oh man. Out of focus here. All right. Going back in here. For some reason, when I'm doing like a live, this picture-in-picture, this thing always tends to go out. And when I'm using this particular software, but I noticed when I'm just doing shots using my camera, it doesn't do that. So I don't know. It must be some kind of weird thing with the software. But anyways, yeah, that cloud alto cumulus in here. But I've done some paper towel masking in here to get that extra texturing in here with color additions. And this is one where I went with. I usually put the colors of my sky down in the water, but I really kind of kept it fairly separated. And I really like that look. I put a little tinge of pink down here from the sky, but for the most part, it's a pretty different hue. There's a little bit of a violet down here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a really light one. And I don't know, it worked out really good. There's so many different color schemes. Sometimes I just kind of forget about it, or I'll try it one time and really like it. But I don't know. There's all kinds of other media out there these days that, I don't know. I guess it's good to forget some things sometimes because that means we have a lot of options, or either that or it means I have a really bad memory. Maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know. All right, this is the postcard that I was passing out this weekend for my business card. It has the website address on the back, and as well as the website channel. It's the YouTube user Stampscapes. Now it's Stampscapes with Kevin Nakagawa. Someone told me it's a good idea to put my name on there. But sky figures with the spiral galaxy in here. I used a lot of the different paint pens in here. So there's some red and pink little paint pen. I wish I could zoom in closer here. But using my eagle right here, I always thought adding birds to kind of a night sky gives it a really, I use the word whimsical all the time, but I don't know, kind of a, I don't know, there's a magic to it, having those birds up there like that. It just gives it scale and distance and, I don't know, just kind of a, I don't know, just a different feeling and the quote stamped down here. Music in the soul can be heard by the universe. And I really like that type of quote with sky imagery. So skyscapes can be really fantastic landscapes, can't they? All right, here's another one that I did in, I think all of these are in video form. I should tell you what the videos for these ones were. This scene was from video 260, 261, 262, 264, and 265. So it's where I stamped the imagery out. Then maybe on the next video I finished off some of the compositions, a little bit of color. The third one was doing things like special effects, probably, like the white pigment inks and the paint pens, stuff like that. Kind of finishing them off. And I did a whole series using some sky figures, I would guess. All right, this one right here is an example of using a lot of the different waterfalls. Video number 511. Which one was this one right here? 518, so about the same time frame. A couple years ago. And I don't know, I just wanted to go crazy. I wanted to do like a waterfall, I don't know, universe or something like that. Fairly large piece here, 8.5 by 11 full size piece, or was it 8 by 10? I'm doing like 8 by 10 these days, so I can kind of mat it on an 8.5 by 11. But this one's full page, and I've used a lot of the same waterfalls, so there's not as many waterfall images in here as you might think, because I've used some of these multiple times. And I don't know, that one was really fun. I forgot I did use the Brick Falls and the Babbling Brook down here with these ones. So I don't know, I thought I used these ones about 3 times each. But no, I don't know. Maybe I did use a lot of different imagery. Anyways, it gave me an excuse to use a lot of the white pigment ink and the splatter painting down at the base of the waterfalls. Stuff that I really love those types of effects. All right, so in my last grouping of idea cards that, we've been sending out for months now, I didn't have a lot of variety. For some reason, I just ordered a ton of idea cards with the fences. So there was a lot of farms and fences and things like that. I don't know, I think 4 of the cards had those fences as visual lead-ins on antique-looking papers, on blue paper. It was on, I don't know, just all kinds of different looks, but I really needed to do some things with skies, some dramatic skies. Maybe I'm getting I don't know, too many skies on this one right here, but again, this one's using the alto cumulus sky. An alto cumulus sky is a mackerel sky, all right? And then just doing these really vibrant tones in here. Is this the same kind of color scheme? Okay, yeah, this one's on that same series of videos around the 260 mark. So if you want to watch these done in application, watch those videos around 260 and on for the next 4 or 5 videos. But I was showing people at the convention this weekend the value of the dead, leafless type of tree amongst the living ones, and just how it gives it variety and I don't know, just a kind of an aged, I don't know, whatever depth to the scenes, as far as I don't know, kind of a timeline foundation, and how it can really add to things. I really like this color scheme right here. I couldn't take too many colors to demo with over the weekend, just because I have a limited amount of space, but we were talking about different sunsets out there in Arizona, and I was recommending to people that they, try photo stamping, because you can take your photographs of, your different sunsets out there, and it kind of gets you engaged with your visuals out there a little bit more. Everyone appreciates a really great sunset, but when you're kind of actively kind of observing them and maybe taking the time to take a photograph of them, to document them and to utilize them with your scenes. Now, this is not a photograph, but you can do something like this in a photo stamping type of scenario, for a really quick card. And they're really personalized too because you took the photograph yourself. But really great colors. You can, of course, create them yourself or do it in a photo stamping type of process. Okay, so this is a card right here that I really enjoyed doing. I enjoy doing them all, but this one right here was a card, a pre-folded card on dark blue cardstock. It's not even really coated paper at all. It's just plain. And this whole thing was just done with white and black pigment ink right here. The fold is right down here in the middle. It's a 5 by 7 inch right here. So 5 by 14 inches going across like that. I think that was the size. I don't know. Maybe it's smaller. I don't know. Maybe that was the, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 or something like that. So this is a 8 1/2 by 5. I don't know. I got to check it out. But I really love this entire process of defining your lighting through the use of white. Usually we're defining light through the use of dark on white paper, and just anything that's light is the retention of the lighter areas or the white of the paper, okay? But when you start off with darker tones on the surface itself, you have to define your lighting through lighter sources. In this case, it's just white. And I really like this entire look in here. And just, a white print of the scenic sentiment quote, and the use of white paint pens for these little highlights around in here. It can be a really dramatic look, and believe it or not, a very fast process just because you're using 2 different colors of ink. And I believe that when you're when you're starting off with these darker tones like that, and you're defining your light through the use of white or light media, okay, I don't know, it seems to exercise a different part of the brain. Look at that, my hands right there. My hands are holding the cards, holding the card in there, so interesting. I believe that this type of paper too, it gave me kind of a little bit of a experience with doing that type of process, and it gave me a little bit of a head start in my use of foils, darker foils, holographic foils, and so on and so forth. The iridescent papers. I was showing people how to work with things like the Startering lapis lazuli over the weekend. I took some of that. I took the holographic printable vinyls, and I took photographs to stamp on, and just to give people a smattering of a a selection of different media, so some really quick applications of stamping, Stampscapes, as well as, your full-on, start off with a white piece of paper, like this one right here, and bring all your colors into it. I forgot my Aspen stamps for some reason. I don't know where they are, but I wanted to do some aspens on some red rocks out there. I'm going to have to do that as my first scene. I wanted to do that, kind of create a red rock type of situation out there, in Arizona, and to put in some fall foliage in that. But I forgot my aspen trees, which would have been perfect for that. I didn't have a chance to use my the 3mm paint pens and so on and so forth, which would have been fun. But we could have done some red rock types of waterfalls or something like that with some aspens around them. But okay, so this one's on. Is this on glossy? I believe this is on glossy. Yeah, glossy cardstock. I couldn't remember if I started working on the semi-gloss for this one right here. But this one's right here. Of course, it's using the fall tones in here and really giving a pretty dark impression with my tree trunk and tree trunk trio stamp here. But the thing that I was really starting to experiment around this time, this is video number 239, so it's going back quite some ways. There's well over 1,000 videos now. There might be 1,200 videos. I didn't put a date on this, but oh, this is 237 and 238 videos, 237, 238. But I started experimenting with light beams, and this is one where I went from just doing a solid beam, like where we're masking off something like this, and going for a full beam, okay, but this is something like this right here, okay, but there's some white up here, and it kind of peters out and is supposed to going all the way to the end. So you get these kind of a little bit of a oscillating beam. It's strong here, disappears here, then it's strong here. You can see it kind of fade in and out like that, and then it tapers off like that, okay? And that's when I don't know, my beams got a little bit more sophisticated or whatever. But in application, it just means that you're just doing less of a beam, so you're doing less of the process right there. So sometimes going with less ink can look, I don't know, more varied, and I guess in this case maybe a little bit more realistic when you have these broken beams, and they're also transitioning beams of light. I mean, you can do full on, you know, very strong beams too, and I think that looked okay, but I think this looks a little bit more, oh, I don't know, sophisticated, varied, realistic. Oops, bump thing there. But anyways, oh, okay, so the idea cards are cards that I send out. They're just, you know, they're postcards that I send out with orders. Orders that I'm trying to get it as light as possible. I might not send cards in, okay? If it's under a certain weight and we're sending it first class, then I'm trying to save the customer as much money as possible and not bump up an order to the next postage cost, rate, or whatever. So I don't include too many cards like that. But the ones that are going out priority mail, you know, we really send out everything that we have. In terms of the idea cards. And it just, I don't know, like I said, all of these things are from videos. And this one was video 340, if I didn't mention that. But I don't know, it's just nice to have something in hand, but that you can refer to or have up for inspiration or whatever. You could flip through it if you want to get some ideas, not necessarily for everything within the scene, but it could be like, oh, I have, you know, a piece of blue paper or something like that. Maybe I want to do something on there, or a piece of foil. Or you can get different color scheme types of ideas from these types of hard copies like this. But like I said, they're all online, but some of us still like to have, you know, hard copies in hand. So that's where I do these types of things. All right, so anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I was mentioning the Mesa convention earlier. If you came out to the show and stopped by the booth, I want to thank you for that. I had such a great time, as always, talking with people and new stampers, as well as really long-time stampers. It's always a pleasure. And thanks so much for dropping by. And for those of you who are watching the video, thanks so much for watching the video.